Thank you for stopping by. I'm your political activist, Jeffrey Weiss, working to keep you informed of local and world events. Today we discuss saving Israel. When I refer to saving Israel, I don't mean protecting Israel. I mean saving Israel from itself. Let me start by stating for the record, I am Jewish. So please, no talk of me being anti-Semitic. Now a bit of history. There are times when a race of people that has been persecuted will, when they become the dominant force, turn into persecutors themselves. It is a law of nature, and no nation has applied that law more stringently than Israel. Instead of learning compassion and practicing peaceful coexistence, Israel not only takes away the land of another nation, but freezes that country from rebuilding their homes and their businesses. All vital goods and services are blocked. Gaza and the West Bank have only 2 to 3 hours of electricity a day. There are no sanitation facilities. Waste dumps directly into the sea. No schools operate. No hospitals have medicine. There is little fresh water, but for that donated by relief agencies. My understanding is that Israel wants to debilitate the Palestinians on the West Bank and Gaza until they give up and move to Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. It is similar to, and every bit as bad, as the South African apartheid. Israel has occupied the territories of the West Bank and Gaza Strip since the Six-Day War of 1967 and has since maintained control. Previously, these territories had been occupied by Jordan and Egypt, respectively, since the 1948 founding of Israel. In 1980, Israel officially absorbed East Jerusalem and also has proclaimed the whole of Jerusalem to be its capital. The inclusion was condemned internationally and declared null and void by the United Nations Security Council. Through two intifadas, 8,441 Palestinians were killed and wounded, while 1,522 Israel soldiers killed and 1,115 civilians perished. Now, here is what will happen in the next few years. Iran will no longer depend on American foreign policy. Sanctions will become a moot point as Iran makes up for any loss of trade with the West by trading with China, Russia, the EU, and other countries in Southeast Asia. Second, the PLO, Hamas, and Fatah will no longer be untrained and have inferior weapons with which to fight back against Israel's technological superiority. Third, Iran is rebuilding its economy and its military and its GDP. They will be able to supply the enemies of Israel with the latest training and best weaponry, every bit as good as Israelis. In the next intifadas, Hamas and Fatah will be backed by elite troops from Iran, battle-hardened fighters trained and supported by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard with the modern armaments. The Palestinian arsenal will include heat-seeking RPGs, laser-pointed machine guns, grenade launchers, and other advanced weaponry. Now here's what will tip the battle in favor of the Palestinians. You may not have heard of Major General Qasem Soleimani. He is commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard and since 1998 commander of the Kurd Forces, a division primarily responsible for extraterritorial military and clandestine operations. He is the greatest general in all of the Middle East, including Israel. He has long provided military assistance to anti-Saddam Shia and Kurdish groups in Iraq, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Hamas in the Palestinian territories. In 2012, Soleimani helped bolster the Syrian government, a key Iranian ally during the Syrian civil war. Soleimani also assisted in the command of combined Iraqi government and Shia military forces that advanced against Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant in 2014 and 2015. Soleimani has been called a living martyr by the rulers of Iran. Soleimani has been described as the single most powerful operative in the Middle East today, and the principal military strategist and tactician in Iran's effort to combat Western influence and promote the expansion of Shia and Iranian influence throughout the Middle East. According to some sources, Soleimani is the principal leader and architect of the military wing of the Lebanese Shia party Hezbollah since his appointment as the Kurds' commander. In the later half of 2012, Soleimani assumed personal control of the Iranian intervention in the Syrian civil war, when Iranians became deeply concerned about the Assad's government lack of ability to fight the opposition, and the fallout to the Islamic Republic if the Syrian government fell. It is reported that he visited Moscow in July of 2015 to coordinate the Russian, Iranian, Syrian offensive in October of 2015. The world has come to believe that America values Jews more than Arabs. Are Israelis more valuable than Arabs? I think not. Therefore, to save Israel from certain destruction, America must force Israel to the bargaining table. Is it too much to ask of Israel to give up a few square miles of desert and share the capital of Palestine? The United States should make foreign aid and military hardware sales to Israel contingent upon tearing down existing settlements in the disputed areas. Also, real progress must be made at the peace table, or all existing aid pledges should be transferred to the Arab nations surrounding Israel. All parties invited to the peace process and must be treated as equals. This includes Hamas, Fatah, and the PLO. Israel must conform to the newly aligned borders, peace process, and recognition of Palestine as an independent state, where Israel must be ostracized by the international community. And then, if required, sanctions should be put in place, just as sanctions were placed upon the enemies of Israel for decades. The U.S. must no longer support a fascist state bent on depriving 100 million Arabs of their land, their freedom, and their economic survival. In the coming wars, the tide of battle will turn in the favor of the Palestinians. Israeli losses will become unacceptable to the public. It will become a war of attrition. And with 218 million Arabs in the Middle East and 8 million Jews, that is a war Israel cannot win. If my articles interest you, please use the link to check out my website and books. Thank you very much.